philosopher once said, there are only two mistakes which a human being can make. Number one, fearing your mistakes, and second, sharing your mistakes. Respected moderator, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests, a very good afternoon to all of you. We, the members of Business Excellence Toastmaster Club, strongly believe that you should not share your mistakes. And we support our case with two basic common sense reasons. Number one, sharing your mistakes stops your development. A mistake you do is a chance for you and only you to sit quietly and listen, observe what the time is telling you about it. But if we, with all our undying impulses, wish to jump out and start sharing our mistakes, we are just becoming our own enemy. We are so happy to share it, rather think over it. And ultimately, we stop working on our mistakes and start living by chance and waiting for other mistakes to happen and then not to share. Second point, it will make you walk on someone else's journey. It is so casual that you share your own mistake and then you get 1,000 solutions in just 1 minute. WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, solutions of all kinds of severity and gravity. You will select one and you like and start working on it. I'm so thankful that Thomas Edison didn't work on any of his mistake solution. He just did 1,000 mistakes and then he shared his invention. Some actions, if spread, can be imitated, and imitation of mistakes will cause more damage on the individual, society, and ultimately on the nation. Friends, when sharing stops your development, when sharing mistakes makes you walk someone else's journey, then why should we share our mistakes with anyone else? Sharing mistakes is not caring, it is scaring. Thank you.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. Me and my team believe that sharing your mistakes is important and good for you. My husband of 17 years, on our wedding day, decided that he's going to come and share his mistakes with me and not wait for me to find them out, lest he gets into more trouble. Steve Jobs said, sometimes when you innovate, you make mistakes. It's best to admit them quickly and yet move on with improving your own innovation. So brilliantly said. So sharing your mistakes possibly gives you a new opportunity to learn, and there is a feedback mechanism effectively that is built up when you share your mistakes. The Japanese used it so beautifully in their Kaizen system. They said, share your mistakes while you're improvising on your production systems. Now this helped them build a zero defect system. And today we all talk about Japanese products, possibly which have as good as zero fault system that comes out. We have fabulous products coming out of Japan because of this single thing about sharing your mistakes and putting it beautifully into a feedback mechanism which overall improves productivity. To share your mistakes takes a lot of courage. It's not easy to go and say, oh, I'm sorry I did this and look like a fool. But it is better than stowing it somewhere deep down in your heart and hoping that nobody finds it and squirming. What will happen if our mistake is found out? When you share your mistakes with people, you open your heart. You tell people, look, I can be trusted. I am also human, and as a human I have erred, but I have improved on this. People will start believing you. Their confidence in you definitely will go up because you have opened up and bared yourself for the mistake you made. Everyone realizes that nobody is perfect, and pretending to be perfect definitely is not going to take you anywhere. When you share your mistakes, you're stopping others from falling in that ditch again. And by not doing so, you're exhibiting you're an immature and irresponsible human being. John Maxwell said, a man must be big enough to admit his mistake, smart enough to profit from it, and strong enough to learn from it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I frankly do not know the profession of my worthy opponent, but if I were to guess, he is either a politician or destined to become a politician. Because the only people who benefit from not sharing their mistakes and stopping their own development are the politicians. All the nonsensical things that they do, they push under the carpet, and that is the only reason they can stop becoming their own enemy. This was supposed to be the most commonsensical thing that my worthy opponent put on the table. If I would be very, very concerned if I was his child. And he is expecting me not to share my mistakes because that would stop my development. I would not know whether to laugh or to cry. Because here is a parent who doesn't want me to share my mistakes with him, thinking it is going to develop. Then how am I going to develop? By looking at other people around who are also not sharing their mistakes, not allowing me to learn. The next thing I want to talk about my opponent is I think he's a person who believes work hard, not smart. He thinks that having 1,000 solutions back to you in 1 minute is worse than trying to work through those 1,000 solutions himself and probably finding the one which is the least probable and the least possible to work. He wants to ignore that. He says he's on WhatsApp, but he doesn't want to listen to anyone else. My point to you, sir, is out of that 1,000, maybe there is one thing which will be a solution, which will get you to your goal faster. For example, share the mistake that you made in this debate with some of your fellow Toastmasters when you walk into the opt of this room, and you might get a solution for your next opening speech. And then, all of us here can have a better debate than we are having now.
Toastmaster, crowd up for the rebuttal.
I can't believe you said that. You are just like a grandfather to me. Come on, I don't want to hear your mistakes. I want to hear your life lessons. You can tell me lessons without stating out your mistakes. You said you're a parent to me. You're more than a parent, Grandpa. Okay. Grandpa, we never said we don't want to take the lessons on WhatsApp. We said we don't want to share our mistakes. What we were trying to say was, we live in a very scary world. Your problem, you know what's your problem? Is that you have a very clean heart. You think everyone thinks the way you think, my worthy opponent. But we're in a scary world. People don't want what's good for you. You have to take care. You have to protect yourself. And sharing your mistakes won't be the right way of protecting yourself. Yes, you want to make progress, but you all seem like wise people. Mother, you seem like a wise person. You seem like a person that is supposed to know that progress can happen in other ways that are more beneficial than sharing mistakes. Okay, the Japanese said something you said. They said share your mistakes. The Japanese did not say that. The Japanese said PDCA. Plan, do, check, and act. That's what the Japanese said. And Steve Jobs said admit. You personally said Steve Jobs said admit. He did not say share your mistakes. Again, another wise man you mentioned said learn, develop, and way more from your mistakes. But again, what you said did not include the word share. I'm sorry, but all your arguments and all your rebuttals, yes, they may be funny. They are definitely funny. I sat here and laughed on what you said. But what made us all laugh today may make us cry tomorrow. People, focus with me. A man will admit his mistakes. Tomorrow, in his job, he may be used against. A child admits his mistakes. And tomorrow, this child may be bullied at school. A woman admits her mistake. and nevertheless can be abused by the closest people to her. People. Be just like a pencil. Be as smart as a pencil. A pencil does not admit it does not share his mistakes. He admits he has mistakes. A pencil erases his mistakes and he himself writes over it because you won't betray yourself at the end of the day. Trust yourself.
Can I have some silence, please? Fingers and rhythms. Toastmaster Ashwin for the closing and summary.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As my opening speaker said, we can better ourselves and learn when we share our mistakes. So we firmly stand against the motion, you should not share your mistakes. We believe you should share your mistakes. Even the Japanese follow a principle called Kaizen, which employs a feedback mechanism wherein everyone openly shares their mistakes to identify improvement opportunities. This ensures zero defects in their process and products. Imagine what would happen if you don't share your mistakes. Are you not being selfish? You are actually allowing someone else to make the same mistake that you did and allowing that person to fall in the same pit that you fell in. This is highly immature of you and against social behavior standards. Only people who gain by not sharing are politicians. So friends, it is very good idea to share your mistakes upfront with others without any fear or shame. Sharing will only lead to lots of learning and innovation. It will open new doors of opportunities and ideas. Everyone realizes that nobody is perfect. So pretending to be someone else will not make you anywhere. Will not take you anywhere. Thank you.
Uncle Auntie. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. These days you share a mistake and the person you shared your mistake with responds, "Had kar diya aapne." Sharing a mistake stops your personal development. It makes you live in someone else's shoes. When the same mistake occurs again, go find him to think again the way he thought in the beginning. Don't let them dictate what you learn when someone else scares you, your mindset. Steve Jobs said, admit your mistakes. Didn't say share them. Do you know what does it mean, admit your mistakes? It means when you are caught and you have to admit it, do it. But don't go to Adil or to one of your colleagues and tell him, hey, I made a mistake. Please go ahead. Listen to my weakness. Open your heart. Husbands, have you heard that? Open your hearts to your wives. That's a death sentence. Not share. Yes, if you can be caught, if you can escape it, you are the king. If you got caught, admit it. And sharing mistakes with mothers, that's another story. I have some marvelous mothers here. And all of them, they have an identical response when their kids share their mistakes. I told you not to do so. Why have you done that? After this debate, the only mistake I would share is sharing mistakes I have done earlier. Over to you.